Hello, my name is Ethan Buss, and I am the Associate Transit Planner at Minnesota Valley Transit Authority. And today, doing this video just to quickly talk about some of the proposed service changes that MVTA is considering for fall 2025. These changes would take place on September 2nd. We are currently getting information out on these major changes and collecting comments and feedback on those changes. And so in the next few weeks, please feel free to reach out to MVTA and provide any comments. I will discuss how to provide us comments at the end of this video. So I'm going to talk about some of the proposed routing changes that would take place on September 2nd in this video on routes 420 and 436. Also, I'm going to discuss some express route extensions and additions that we're proposing for the fall on routes 460, 475, and 490. I'm going to quickly talk about the introduction of fixed stops on 3 of our routes, and then I'll also mention that there are going to be some other changes taking place on some other routes in our system. First, I wanted to discuss 420's proposed routing change to take place this fall. Route 420 currently is a local route that serves portions of both Apple Valley and Rosemount. The routing really serves a lot of residential areas of Apple Valley and Rosemount, areas north of County Road 42, especially along 147th Street and 145th Street. Services provided to the business center in Apple Valley, some local parks, as well as some local community resource areas. The current route operates Monday through Friday, every hour between about 5 a.m. and 9 p.m. on weekdays. So you can see we're proposing a pretty significant routing change this fall. The proposed routing would use 157th Street for the most part in Apple Valley, providing added service to different housing and commercial areas, in particular the Target and other commercial destinations around Pilot Knob Road and 157th Street. The current Route 420 routing would be preserved between Pilot Knob Road and Shannon Parkway. So current riders that get on or get off the bus at those points would still be able to access the route from their current areas. The routing would then go south of County Road 42 in Rosemount to provide some access to commercial destinations along County Road 42, especially a local Cub, some local pharmacies, as well as other local businesses. There would also be new service to parts of Highway 3 in downtown Rosemount, and then the final part of the route would extend east to Dakota County Technical College, providing a reliable and more frequent transit option to Dakota County Technical College. These are the proposed times for service on Route 420. And so these would be the times that trips would arrive or leave at any of these key points along the route. Also going to briefly discuss Route 436 and our proposed routing change and service additions. Currently, Route 436 is a local route connecting major employers in the Eagan area to 46th Street Station in Minneapolis. The current routing mostly is meant to give Twin Cities residents transit options to jobs in the Viking Lakes area in Eagan. There are a lot of major employers in that part of Eagan, including Thomson Reuters, the Omni Hotel, the TCO Stadium is there, and some other major employers in that area. The route operates Monday through Friday, with trips serving mostly going south to the Viking Lakes area in the morning, and then mostly north to Minneapolis in the PM. The proposed routing would be another fairly significant change. But the routing would maintain most current stops in the Viking Lakes area. It would also maintain 46th Street Station as the start or end of the route. The new routing would add a stop at Terminal 1 of MSP Airport and add service along a part of Yankee Doodle Road, connecting it to end at Eagan Transit Station. The route would provide hourly service in both directions from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on both weekdays and weekends. There would also be some additional trips in each direction on weekdays that would bypass the airport or skip the airport. And these would help to keep the current level of service that our 436 riders have. And so that our current riders don't have to have added trip times with the new airport stop. This is an example of our proposed times for weekday schedules on the new Route 436. As you can see, there would be a few trips going southbound in the morning that would not serve the airport. And then northbound in the afternoon on weekdays, there would be a few trips daily that would not serve the airport as well, to provide that same amount of time to get from Viking Lakes to 46th Street Station. On the weekend, these would be the proposed times. The major difference is that on the weekends, the route would not stop at either Thomson Reuters facility or on a portion of Mendota Heights Road or on Pilot Knob Road, just to provide a slightly more direct service on the weekends. We are also proposing a number of express route changes for this fall. First, we're proposing a extension of Route 460 to Savage Park and Ride on select trips. So this would be a new pattern to Route 460. There'd be 3 trips daily that would go to and from Savage Park and Ride, and these trips are already existing, but they would also serve Burnsville Transit Station, as well as Savage Park and Ride on these trips. The added trip times are targeted to arrive downtown for 7:30, 8, and 8:30 a.m. shift times for our Savage Park and Ride riders, and would also provide southbound options, leaving downtown around 3:30, 4, and 4:30. Next, we're proposing a change to Route 490. Currently, Route 490 has some trips go to the University of Minnesota and some trips end in downtown Minneapolis. This fall, we are planning on shifting all of our 490 trips to start and end at the University of Minnesota. So there would be a few trips that would be added to the University of Minnesota. So we'd have new arrivals to the university around 7:30 a.m. and 8:45 a.m. and more trips leaving the university around 3 p.m., just after 4 p.m., and then just after 5 p.m. To make this happen, there would be a few stops downtown that will be removed, especially on 2nd Avenue and then the Gateway ramp stop. So current people that get on or get off the bus at those points, there'll be multiple other stop options for you, but that stop location will be impacted. Other than that, there'll be very minimal impact for other downtown Minneapolis riders on Route 490. Route 475, we are also proposing multiple added trips on that route due to high ridership on the route during the University of Minnesota school year. We're proposing adding a northbound trip at 9:35 a.m., as well as southbound trips at 2:35, 3:35, and 5:35 p.m. These provide just more trip times again for University of Minnesota students and then staff and visitors coming from the Apple Valley and Eagan areas. Next, I want to briefly discuss the introduction of fixed stops on some more of our routes. Stops on 3 routes, Route 420 in Apple Valley and Rosemount, and then routes 497 and 499 in Shakopee. These 3 routes will be moving to have fixed stops along the route at designated pickup and drop-off locations. Currently, riders can wave a bus down from any safe location along the route. However, these signs are going to provide riders with better information about which routes stop at each location. These signs also provide the stop ID of the route and a QR code to the MVTA website. From there, riders can get live updates on their trip status. All you have to do is enter the stop ID, which is on the sign, on the trip planner, and it'll give you the upcoming trip times at that stop. This is also going to be a big improvement for safety and reliability on these routes, and gives both our riders and our operators more clear areas where riders should and should not be getting on and off the bus. Finally, there's going to be some other minor changes to routing and timing on routes 445, Orange Link, and 447. For these changes, please feel free to contact MVTA, and we'd be happy to provide more details on those changes. If you have any questions or comments on any of the changes that MVTA is proposing for this fall, please feel free to contact our customer service team at mvta@mvta.com or at 952-882-7500. We also have a web page that's live right now that goes over the changes that I have just discussed on this call. So as you can see, there are a number of little explainers showing the changes that we are proposing for this fall. We also have a link to our public briefings. We have 3 meetings the week of June 23rd. We will also be present at transit stations the week of July 7th to share this information with riders. So you can find those times on our website here. You can also use this link to contact our planning team. I'll send you to a link where you can enter the feedback that you have for us. And then finally, you can use our interactive map. This interactive map, if you click that link, it'll send you to a web page where it'll give you more details about our routing and where the stop locations will be on these more major changes. And so you can click on the route, scroll in to see where the stops are. If you have any comments, you're also welcome to comment on our map. All you have to do is go up to the top right of the screen. There'll be a post comment button in blue. And then all I have to do is click on where you would like to post your comment, type in your message, and then click that post button. I'm not going to do it on this video, but if you click the post button, it'll show up, and that'll provide feedback for staff at MVTA to review, so that way we can help make any changes if needed to make this the best possible service change for everybody. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to customer service at mvta@mvta.com or at 952-882-7500. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video.